say that. Goonies never say die.
40 going on
14.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to 40 going on 14. I am Mike.
I am Patrick.
I'm Joel.
And I'm Josh, and I thought this week we were doing pirated entertainment, which would be basically everything else we talk about on the show that isn't on Netflix.
Or for me, just everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, Pat's whole computer.
Yeah,
allegedly.
I don't care whether it's free to find anywhere. I'll just go ahead and download it illegally just for the fuck of it.
He's like, I pay for the subscription service, but fuck you.
Yeah, I have Netflix. I'll still go to the Pirate Bay just to download something on Netflix. I don't care.
Is Joel's whole role in this show just going to be going allegedly the entire time?
Yes.
Yeah, so this week we are talking about pirates. More specifically, talking a little bit about the genre and pirate movies over the years. But I'm kind of excited about this one. I like pirate stuff.
Avast ye mateys.
Oh, be ready for a bunch of daddish puns from Patrick, because I'm more than certain his monitor is covered in Post-it notes of ones that he's thought up over the last week.
Oh no, I don't need Post-it notes. Are you kidding me? They're all in my head. Like
he's funny, say I.
Like what's a pirate's second favorite mode of transportation? A car.
Good night, folks.
Well, you know what a pirate's favorite mode of transportation is?
A car.
No, a ship, you dummy.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, some people would think that a pirate's favorite letter is R, but his first love is the C.
Good night, folks.
And if
Pirates, sir!
If you like terrible pirate puns, you might find some on the shows in Geek Life Radio. Might find some in All Things Transformers, perhaps the Anime Trap House, HTML All the Things, and of course, Geek Life Radio's own Rad Dad Radio Hour, the Smorgasbord.
Odd choice on many different levels.
But was that it?
I mean, it's a science fiction Star Trek podcast during a show that we're doing about pirates.
And you're singing the Suzanne Vega.
Yeah.
So yes.
The diner song. Yeah.
Got it in one.
Finally.
No,
yeah,
you know what? To do that every time.
All things considered, for him, this is a win.
I was going to say, and he's done a lot that were worse. I could live with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for more of this, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We are on Podbean. We are also on Amazon Podcasts. Find us all over the place. I've just tried to remember the name of the podcast app that I use. Oh, yeah.
It's just Spotify?
Pirate Bay.
Podcast Addict.
What?
Podcast the Dick.
Podcast the Dick?
Yeah.
Yes. I said this is exactly why I paused, because this happened 3 weeks ago. Left brain said to right brain, don't say that again. They're going to do the same thing.
Podcast a dick.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, you can find us there.
We should be on that network.
There are a bunch of dicks.
That's what I'm saying.
And if you'd like to give us a call, give us an idea for a show, you can do it on 708 Now Rap. That's 708-669-9727. And if you want to chat with us, you click our Contact Us button on our Facebook page, and it'll take you to an invite to our Discord channel, where we talk about new movies coming out, talk about travel, lots of talk about food and drink. Yeah.
And memes. Share
and
memes.
memes. There are plenty of memes.
And how to podcast the Dick.
No, that's not there.
It's in another channel I started.
We do, however, have a voicemail.
Dick's Cord.
So yeah, this voicemail may not be timely because I forgot about it for a month.
Que sera, sera. All right, here we go.
Hey there, Ryan the Wine Guy here. Last week, you said that I wonder who they would cast if they remade Maude. Well, they already remade Maude. It was called The Wanda Sykes Show. That show was awesome. Wanda Sykes would be perfect to replace Maude, be Arthur as Maude. And, yeah, that was it. Short call. Bye.
Last week, we did not talk about Maude. I don't remember talking about Maude.
I definitely remember talking about Maude.
Yeah,
we did talk about who would play Maude.
And that's so how often do we do that?
But he's not wrong. Wanda Sykes would be a good choice. I'm not a big Wanda Sykes fan, but she would play that.
The strange thing is, the Wanda Sykes show is a talk show.
No, she had a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
Did she?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
A while back.
Oh, all right. Well, all right then. Well, thanks for the suggestion. We'll give Wanda a call.
So you too could call in and we'll do your voicemail in 4 to 6 weeks.
Yes.
Promised.
Totally promised.
Not Amazon speed, old mail order speed.
But yeah, definitely give us a call. We appreciate this. We like to hear from you guys.
Call us.
Please, we love you.
If you call us more often, we'll check it more often.
Oh.
Yeah.
Making deals now.
See?
Wheeling and dealing.
Got that. It's like when you got that lump on your back, you don't check it too often because you're like, yeah, it's still there.
What?
That was a terrible analogy.
You
Forget
need
I
to
said
go to
it.
the doctor, Michael.
He's got Belial living on his back.
Oh.
Oh, so I would have gone with Quato.
Yeah, but Quato wasn't on the back. He was on the stomach.
Yeah,
Right.
jerk. I don't
And
got
we
it.
know that technical accuracy is what makes for the funniest joke.
All right.
I definitely think it's about that time.
It is about that time.
Holy shit. It's
This week in music, movies, and TV. And sports.
You opted to go death metal there.
I was going to say, he just turned Norwegian.
Yeah, we're talking about pirates, so, Norwegian pirates.
Those are called Vikings.
Right.
Yeah, the famous Norwegian pirate.
Yeah. Yo ho ho and
My
stuff.
beard is frozen.
All right. So the theme for the day is April 8th, 2009. That is the date that 4 Somalian pirates boarded and commandeered the cargo ship Massarak, Alabama, in the Indian Ocean. It was the first successful pirate seizure.
Oh, God.
I was just thinking of a pirate seizure. Yeah. Of an American-registered ship since the early 19th century. The siege ended after a rescue effort by the United States Navy on April 12th. Captain Richard Phillips wrote a book about the incident that was later adapted into the 2013 film Captain Phillips, starring Tom Hanks.
All right.
What is
So-
happening?
He is a pirate. He was having a pirate seizure.
Okay. So, the new movie Pirates starring Michael J. Fox. So music.
Note to self: never put the word seizure in the twee again. Jesus.
The top song in the land was Poker Face by Lady Gaga.
Ma.
My butt fucker face. I've told you how I thought that's what was being said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we told you how that was dumb.
Yep.
And you were literally the only person who's ever thought that.
I just thought I'd bring it up again.
Are you
Good
hoping that in the 5 years that's the last time you mentioned that there's going to be one other person go, me too. I identify.
I mean, a boy can dream. So moving on, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame celebrated on April 4th as Jeff Beck, Metallica, Run DMC, Wanda Jackson, Bobby Womack, Little Anthony and the Imperials, and more were inducted in a show opened up to the public for the first time. With thousands of shouting, fist-pumping fans lining the balconies, the ceremony highlighted giants of classic rock and pop. In his speech for the induction, Eminem referred to the storyline for Run DMC's video for the acronym of the week, KOR.
I'm pretty sure that just stands for Kill Old Rapists.
I can get behind that.
Just the old ones?
Just the old ones. They're easier. They're slower. They're easier to kill.
Worth less points. No, that is actually Kings of Rock.
So
Rock.
Eminem referred to the storyline of Run DMC's video for Kings of Rock, saying, "The group set themselves up as the gatecrashers of popular music by forcing their way into a museum very similar to the one we're inducting them into tonight. Run DMC were told in that video that they didn't belong in a rock and roll museum, and 25 years later, man, here we are." That was not my Eminem impression. That was just me reading it.
I'd hope
I
not.
couldn't tell.
I'm actually heading to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for one of the stops on my honeymoon. So I've
That's
never been
cool.
there.
I've never been. Yeah, I would like to go.
I'm
On a
looking forward to it.
honeymoon, or
Yeah, I want to go with them specifically. I want to go on their
I
honeymoon.
was to go on Joel's honeymoon.
Oh, God, now you know where I'm going to be at least one of the days.
You're gonna pull up, and I'm just gonna be sitting there on a bench. Hey guys.
It's like all the pictures are going to have Pat peeking out behind trees in the background.
Oh, God, what did I get myself into?
Or I'll just be there, and I won't tell you I'm there. And then when you look at all the pictures later, I'm going to be photobombing every one of them.
That would be incredibly epic and mildly creepy, especially if you're like in the hotel or under the bed or something.
What photos are you taking
None ya?
that he would be under the bed?
Sexy time photos.
Oh.
None ya business. Moving on. The 44th Academy of Country Music Awards were held on April 5th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas and was hosted by ACM Award winner Reba McEntire. Winners included Taylor Swift, Carrie Underwood, Brad Paisley, and Sugarland.
Huh.
It's a pretty solid lineup of people.
Ooh, I don't know about all that.
What? Sugarland's fun. Taylor Swift
Yeah.
is good. Carrie
Brad,
Underwood's...
Brad Paisley is a
good.
big sucking hole of suck, though.
He's the one I'm not really familiar with his music, I don't think. I don't know.
He sucks.
Well, that's settled.
What's his big song?
I don't know.
My Argyle Truck? What?
Dick tastes funky. I don't know.
I hate to echo Josh, but what is happening?
I mean, every time I've ever heard a song on Spotify that or Pandora or anything, then I'm like, ooh, what is this crap? And I look at it and I see the Brad Paisley, and I'm nope, thumbs down. So
My dick tastes funky.
I don't memorize the names as I'm thumbs downing.
Capuchin monkey.
What? Dude, you need to go to the doctor too.
I'm just gonna put what is happening on the soundboard here. So.
And finally, in music, on April 13th, U.S. record producer Phil Spector was found guilty of the 2003 second-degree murder of actress Lana Clarkson, and his hair grew ever so much larger.
Oh my God, yeah.
The man who created the wall of sound is a piece of shit.
Yeah. All right.
My dick tastes funky.
I guess we move on to movies then.
Might be a little chunky.
Ew.
The top movie in the land was Fast and Furious, starting a chain of movies that still cannot be killed to this day. And I keep hearing they actually mostly get better as you get deeper into the franchise.
They're fun.
It started as like a chase movie about undercover cops, and now it's like almost sci-fi.
Well, the last few few movies, they've become more like spies, like secret agents almost.
Yeah, and physics doesn't exist anymore in these movies. There is no physics. I mean,
a lot of spy movies, like, we're not going to, like, dunk on James Bond for inaccurate physics. So I give them a pass, too.
No, I'm talking about, you know how Indiana Jones swung across the pit with the whip? Imagine that, except that's a car.
Right.
Doing
on
that.
some sort of a hoist or something.
Indiana Jones swinging on a car?
Yes, that's exactly what I was
If you'd like to swing on a car, carry my dick home in a jar. It would taste better off in a bar. I don't know. Or would you
what is happening?
I'm just moving on to the next bullet point. Star Trek, the reboot directed by J.J. Abrams, starring Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto, premiered in Austin, Texas on April 6th.
I like those movies. I know they get a lot of hate, but
they are definitely divisive films. But I am with you. I like them, not as much as like Next Gen Trek, and certainly it doesn't get close to Star Wars for me. But I enjoy those films.
Yeah, same.
All right,
and Wino in the back agrees.
Finally, Marilyn Ann Taylor, known professionally as Marilyn Chambers, was an American pornographic actress, exotic dancer, model, actress, and vice presidential candidate. Known for her film debut, Behind the Green Door, she ranked at number 6 on the list of top 50 porn stars of all time by AVN. Although she was primarily known for her adult film work, she made a successful transition to mainstream projects and has been called porn's most famous crossover. On April 12th, she was found dead in her home by her 17-year-old daughter. The LA County coroner's autopsy revealed Chambers died of a cerebral hemorrhage and an aneurysm related to heart disease.
Absorbed. Don't forget she was also the Ivory Snow poster girl for a while before starting her career.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's why it was such a big deal, is because she was on a box of Ivory Snow in the store, as the model for the product. And then next thing you know, she's, finding out, well, my dick tastes funky. But it's true. Look it up. It's an actual thing. Not that my dick tastes funky. That Marilyn Chambers was Ivory Snow.
What is happening? Are you happy with yourself, Joel? You broke Pat.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, so TV. That
was the callback that finally got me.
Yeah. Top shows in the land were American Idol, Dancing with the Stars, NCIS, and Dancing with the Stars, The Results Show.
That tracks.
Yeah, reality TV taking over everything.
Yikes. All right. So the television special Charlie Brown's All-Stars returns to American television for the first time since 1982, airing on ABC on April 7th. Was that, which one was All-Stars?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Is that the baseball? I mean, the one where they were, like, it was all baseball games?
It must be.
Yeah.
All-Stars. Hey now, we're an All-Star. Charlie Brown's All-Stars, the second primetime animated television special. That's just telling us stuff we already know. Yeah, at baseball. It's a baseball.
Because I remember the one where they went to the spelling bee.
I looked it up. There's a big long synopsis on Wiki.
Oh God.
But yeah,
Well,
it's just
all right.
baseball.
All right, I challenge any of you in this next bullet point to know any of the shows other than the first one mentioned.
Got it. On April 9th, Parks and Recreation, starring Amy Poehler, Nick Offerman, and Aziz Ansari, debuted on NBC. Also debuting this week were Special Agent Ozo.
I know that one.
Of course you do. The Ed Show. I know that one. Surviving Suburbia. I know that one. Timmy Time.
Timmy!
I know that one. The Unusuals. Oh, you don't know that one, do you, Joel? Southland. I know that one.
I know that one.
I actually know that one, too. And Harper's Island.
I watched literally every episode of Harper's Island as it premiered.
Really?
What are these? I've never heard of any of these.
What's
Harper's
Harper's
Island was a murder mystery about like a wedding party, and
Oh,
there's
shit.
a big deal about like who the killer was and who was going to die, because like one or two people died in every episode, and who the killer could be got narrower and narrower.
Crap, I remember this, because remember, wasn't it like the first episode someone died when they got sucked into the blades of a boat?
That sounds right.
Oh, I
I'm
do
looking
remember
this
one.
up.
I
I had
enjoyed
no
the
idea.
hell out of that show. I love murder mysteries.
I got to write a note to myself. Look this back up, because I remember enjoying that.
Harper's Island. 13 weeks, 25 suspects, 1 killer.
Yeah, I don't know that
I
I
thought it was about a vacation retreat run by Valerie Harper.
Womp womp.
Thanks, Dad.
Wow, I don't know.
Want to bring up somebody else we don't know about?
Derek Harper?
I don't really know any of the people on this show.
Yeah, I don't know that the like eventual revelation of who the killer was and how it all worked was super satisfying, but I did enjoy the ride.
On
That's good.
IMDb, it got 7.5 stars out of 10. That's good. Wow. Huh. Yeah, I never heard of that one.
Yeah, I remember watching the first episode, and it was probably another one of those things where, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I'll continue watching it after I finish watching whatever I need to do for the podcast this week. And then I never went back.
Wait. I recognize one of the actors out of all of them. Like, geez. Huh. Interesting. All right. There you go,
All right.
Pat.
Moving on to sports. George Edward Tribe was an Australian cricketer as well as an Australian rules footballer with the Footscray Football Club in the VFL. Tribe played with great success for Victoria immediately after the Second World War, taking 86 wickets at 19.25 in just 13 games and playing in 3 tests under Donald Bradman in the 1946-47 Ashes series. An all-rounder, he bowled slow left-arm orthodox and wrist spin and batted doggedly as a left-hander, mostly at number 6 or 7, compiling 7 centuries in his first-class career. Despite his prolific record in first-class cricket, he was unsuccessful during the series against England and was dropped from the national team. He was a Wisden Cricketer of the Year in 1955, and then he died on April 5th of the
Absorbed. Cricket.
Also on April 5th, an event where I was one of the 72,744 that attended, WrestleMania 25, was held at Reliant Stadium in Houston. The Undertaker defeated Shawn Michaels, John Cena beat Edge and The Big Show both, and Triple H beat Randy Orton.
And you were there. Was that a good one?
I was there, yeah. It was very entertaining, yeah. John Cena did one of the most impressive things I've ever seen a human being do in one.
Did he eat 50 eggs?
No one can eat 50 eggs.
Nice.
He lifted both the Big Show and the Edge. And why do we keep calling him the Edge? He lifted the Big Show and
It'd be
Edge.
funny if the Edge was actually there. Bono's like, what the fuck?
But yeah, he picked up both of them at the same time on his back and threw them both down.
Big Show's a big motherfucker, too.
Yeah, Big Show weighs like 480 pounds and Edge is like 220. He picked up like 800 pounds, 700, 800 pounds on his back.
Of dead weight.
Yeah, and just threw it across the ring. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I mean, John Cena is a bad dude.
Those damn jean shorts.
Jorts. And then lastly in sports, the last day of the 73rd U.S. Masters Tournament held at Augusta National Golf Course was April 12th. Angel Cabrera won his second major title in a playoff with Chad Campbell and Kenny Perry. Cabrera was the first Masters champion from South America and Argentina both.
Golf.
And then lastly, the seldom seen miscellaneous category.
Ooh.
Yes. We have David Lance Arneson was a game designer best known for co-developing the first published role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons with Gary Gygax in the early 1970s. Arneson's early work was fundamental to the development of the genre, developing the concept of the RPG using devices now considered to be archetypical, such as adventuring in dungeons and using a neutral judge who doubles as the voice and consciousness of all other characters to develop the storyline. He died April 7th after 2 years of cancer.
Oh, that sucks. Why do we not hear about him more if he co-created it with Gary?
I mean, when you get past Gary Gygax, unless you're deep into the hobby and deep into the history, like most people would know Dave Arneson as the secondary and Dave Megarry as the tertiary creator. But Arneson is the more famous of the two Daves.
Because he's like...
It's kind of like...
like Wozniak?
Or Steve
exactly
Ditko.
I was exactly... Yeah, Wozniak was the one I was going to say. Yeah, okay, well, never mind then.
Yeah, Wozniak for Apple or Steve Ditko to Marvel.
Bill Finger.
Or
for,
Ballmer for
Bob Kane
Microsoft.
and Bill Finger.
Steve Ballmer for Microsoft.
For sure.
Huh. Okay, because I'd never heard that name. I mean, obviously I'm not as deep into the RPGs as you guys are, so it'd be less likely I'd know the name, but I think I would have come across it at some point, but I don't recognize it. Makes me sad.
And I figured that would be of great interest to all of us.
Yeah.
I'd include it. All right, well, play us off, Keyboard Joel.
Ba-na-bum, ba-na-bum.
That was audibly floppy.
I call that band name.
Audibly floppy.
What genre?
With their hit single, My Dick Tastes Funky.
All right, I'm calling it. So pirates. Been a theme for many things. Games based after them. Lots of movies. Some TV shows. Less than I expected.
Right.
Memes. Everybody's throwing them up against the ninjas whenever they can. Because what is the draw about pirates? What's the big pull of the pirate's life for me type of thing?
Well, it's kind of similar to the Old West Cowboys. A man with no law, no rules. He lives by his own wits and strength and blah, blah, blah. That's kind of very appealing with the American mindset.
And it's kind of morally ambiguous. Like, sometimes they're really bad. Sometimes they're really good. Sometimes they're just kind of neutral. Like, they do bad things for good reasons or do good things for bad reasons. Or, they can be all over the map as far as the portrayal,
Yeah, and honestly, as the first sort of anti-heroes, Pirates Entertainment, like in a lot of ways, occupied the same sort of slot that superheroes do today. Like before superheroes were a thing, a lot of your early comic books were about pirates. And in fact, in the Watchmen universe, all of their comic books are pirate comics.
No, they had no superhero comics, did they?
Right. And you even see that. I know we talked a little bit about the HBO series when we did the Watchmen episode. You'd see popular entertainment, like popular movies in that universe were pirate movies.
Tales of the Black Freighter.
Mm-hmm.
They've always engaged me. Like, I was very much like junior Ron Swanson as a kid. I dressed up as a pirate every year. That was my costume. And as an adult, I collect pirate board games. That too many came out for me to say I had all or even most of them. But I've got everything from broadsides and boarding parties. I can see from my chair, I can see 7 or 8 pirate board games.
Wow. See, I never totally... I mean, I guess I kind of get the appeal, but it's one of those things kind of like Westerns. Like, whenever we've done a Western-themed show, I'm always like, if a Western comes out, I'm like, some of them might catch my attention, but it's few and far between. But then when I watch them, I always end up liking them. And it's the same kind of thing with pirate films. Like, I'm not automatically going to run out and see one or, pull one up from the vast library of films that are out there. Mm-hmm. But I always end up enjoying them. So, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. So I don't totally get the draw, but I get it from what we've said. But for me personally, I don't quite get it, I guess. I know that didn't make any sense.
That's great, Joel.
That's why My Dick Tastes Funky.
I've always had a thing for them. I don't think I've ever had a pirate costume like Josh, but I've always dug the genre of, and I think pondering it, went back to watching maybe only a Chicago thing, but do any of you guys remember Family Classics? It had, Josh might be the most likely one to remember this. It had the guy that hosted the Bozo Show originally, or the second guy.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
This was on Channel 11, the PBS.
Channel 9.
Oh, Channel 9. Okay.
Yeah, it was Channel 9, and it was Family Classics, and it was all movies that were based off of classic literature. So you'd have Moby Dick, and you'd have Treasure Island, you'd have Journey to the Center of the Earth, and all that. And they would have these movies, and a lot of them were the old black and white ones. And I remember watching Captain Blood and Treasure Island and those type of things on Saturdays, because it was always, the lineup was Family Classics, and then you would switch to Channel 32 to catch Son of Svengoolie and then Star Trek. That was my Saturdays right there. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, really.
That's a good Saturday.
That's a great Saturday. Yeah. But those were, I really got the love of the pirate genre and the whole mythos of the pirates, but got more and more into it as time went on, different movies, and going over the list. There's a couple movies that are in here that I did not originally think of when I thought about pirate movies that we've tossed in there. But
agreed.
The first one that I dug up is from 1908.
Jeez.
Yeah, I was trying to find what is the first pirate movie made. It's a short film, L'Honneur des Corsaires, so The Honor of the Corsair. It was, like I said, from 1908, directed by Victorine Hippolyte Jasset and starred Charles Kraus. Silent film, made in France. Not going to know, really anybody, but I just thought that was kind of neat. For how far back the idea of a pirate, pirate life went.
Well, and in the same year, in the U.S., they had the Pirates Gold.
Oh, okay.
I mean, one of the early American filmmakers who's known for the very controversial Birth of a Nation, same dude who made that, D.W. Griffith, made Pirates Gold in 1908.
Huh.
So this was actually before Birth of a Nation.
Okay.
But yeah, this guy was one of the guys who founded United Artists, and it was one of his first films.
Well, see, when I think of like the earliest pirate movies, I think of one that Mike mentioned that we're going to get to here in a minute, which is Captain Blood. I mean, that's the one that always pops into my mind when I think of like old pirate movies. That's anything with Errol Flynn. I kind of think, must be a pirate movie.
Yeah. So the next one up that I had in here is 1912, which seems to be the first time they put Treasure Island to film. Again, short film directed by J. Searle Dawley, who eventually would wound up working with Fox, Rex Motion Picture Company, famous players, and screenwriter, stage actor. He also did movies with Douglas Fairbanks, Mary Pickford, Pearl White, Harold Lloyd, and John Barrymore.
Oh.
Yeah. So
big names, man.
Right. So this one has Charles Ogle, who is listed as in the cast list as unconfirmed as Billy Bones, which I'm not sure what that means. If they just don't, there's no official listing, or, maybe the movie's so old you really can't tell, that sort of thing. But eventually in 2000 and the 1920 version, I was going to say 2020 version. That's weird. It's a century. The 1920s version that would be filmed later, he would actually, Charles Ogle would be Long John Silver.
Okay. So he just switched to one of the other characters, but same story. Huh.
And I'm pretty sure the book was probably my first exposure to like pirates as a concept. It's probably where it all started me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's an uncommon story for guys our age.
Yeah,
No.
I'm probably the same.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't me reading Treasure Island. It was me watching. And this next one is the one that I remember seeing on Family Classics, was Treasure Island from 1934. It was directed by Victor Fleming.
Okay.
Okay, and then starred Wallace Beery, Jackie Cooper, and Lionel Barrymore. Jackie Cooper was, I forgot the name of the kid.
Billy Bones?
Yeah.
No, Billy Bones
not
was
Billy
the
Bones,
pirate that
the
died at the beginning.
Oh, you're right. Oh, shit.
I just watched that today, too. Not that one, the 1951, but...
what the hell is the kid's name?
Just lost it.
And now I'm drawing a blank. Son of a biscuit.
But, and also Lionel Barrymore, who the Barrymore clan has been in, everything. So Jim Hawkins, that's who's in it. That's the kid's name. If you guys ever get a chance, read Jackie Cooper's biography. It is, it's a trip from like how Hollywood used to deal with kid actors, because he started as a youth. And this will give you an idea. The name of the book is Please Don't Kill My Dog.
Jesus.
And based off of, they used to get him to cry when he was a kid in movies, the directors would basically take his dog around the corner, fire a gun, and be like, well, you won't cry, so we shot your dog.
Holy shit.
I'm like, oh, that was my take on it too. Holy shit. Who thought that was a good idea? And apparently everybody.
I should have been a film director in the 1920s.
You just shoot dogs because you like to.
Right? Not have a reason.
It's just a pastime, right?
Yeah. So after that, 1935, you ever seen a pirate stick his dagger in the sail and slide down to the deck? It's because of this movie, Captain Blood.
Captain Blood, yes.
Errol Flynn, Olivia de Havilland, Basil Rathbone, Lionel Atwill. Based off the book Captain Blood and directed by
cast.
Yeah, Michael Curtis. Basil Rathbone's just the best in this.
Oh, I love Basil Rathbone. His Sherlock Holmes films are my Sherlock Holmes.
Oh yeah, but he plays a great villain.
Yes.
Now, I watched this one also, and one of the things that I saw was when they had the sword fight on the beach at the very end. We have Errol Flynn and Basil Rathbone fighting, the final duel. And it took me a couple seconds to notice it, but when they would pull back and have the sword fighting going on, it would be on the beach, that sort of thing, and they cut forward to Errol Flynn's face going, "Have at you," or whatever. And in the background, I noticed that the palm trees were waving. And not the palm trees, but like the whole tree. Stop, rewind a couple times. All the close-ups were done in front of like a canvas painted up to look like a beach.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's funny because like they're doing like, "How about you? Oh, wow, you knave," that sort of thing. And behind them, the palm trees just got that little bit of a ripple going on in there. But they had, I guess, just because of sound problems and where technology was at the time, they had to do that.
Well, when they were shooting on sound stages, they had to kind of. There's a little suspension of disbelief that had to be there.
And I'm 100% in for it.
Yeah, agreed. Errol Flynn was always fun to watch.
Now, 1947's, a little bit of dyslexia kicking in, Mike. Sinbad the Sailor. Is Sinbad a pirate movie?
No. I mean, I wouldn't have objected to it being on this list, but neither would I have called it a pirate movie.
Yeah, it's more like an adventurers movie. If you're going to call that a pirate movie, you kind of have to call like Raiders of the Lost Ark a pirate movie. I mean, just because you're doing pirate things doesn't make you pirate.
I think it's a fine line, but I think I agree with them. That
he's Sinbad the Sailor, not Sinbad the Pirate. He's not like going out to take ships.
Okay. Well, this one just showed up on the list, and I thought that would be a decent question for it. Directed by Richard Wallace, starring Douglas Fairbanks Jr., Maureen O'Hara, Walter Slezak, and Anthony Quinn. So, good stuff right there. And then after this, I believe this is one Josh saw, the Walt Disney's Treasure Island, directed by Byron Haskins, starring Robert Newton, Bobby Driscoll, and Basil Sidney.
Oh, for sure.
I just watched that one today, and I'm sure I saw it as a kid, but I forgot how it's just a solid movie. I mean, of course, it's the 1950s, so there's some very 50s kind of Disney things going on, but it's still just a fun watch. And Long John Silver kind of steals the show.
Robert Newton?
Yeah. Just kind of steals the movie from everybody else, because, I mean, that's really what you want to see, is him chewing up the scenery and just being kind of this... He's a bad guy, but he's also not totally a bad guy. He's kind of like a Captain Jack Sparrow kind of character, where he's a bad guy, but you still like him. He's charismatic in a weird way.
Okay. And this one, next one, Peter Pan. Is it a pirate movie or is it a movie with pirates?
I think you could say it's a pirate movie because
I think it's a movie with pirates.
Well, I mean, even the Lost Boys. I mean, the whole antagonist of the film is Captain Hook and his band of pirates. I mean, it pops up on all the lists.
But the movie's not about them. I mean, that's like saying that Kill Bill is a crazy 88 movie.
Yeah,
I mean, just because they're in there doesn't make it about them.
This one is definitely closer, I think, than Sinbad, because there clearly is a major character who is a pirate. But
yeah, I agree with that. It's definitely closer.
I mean, if you look at Treasure Island, you've got pirates against this group of guys who come across the map kind of inadvertently and decide to go after it, and the pirates overhear it and are like, okay, well, this is ours. We're going to go get it from you. So it's really not that different, because the protagonists in Treasure Island aren't pirates.
No, but they're traveling with pirates.
Right. And I would say that it's a stretch to say that Treasure Island isn't about pirates, where Peter Pan is about Peter Pan, and to another extent, like the kids.
Like, you could make Peter Pan and make the enemies non-pirates, and it wouldn't change Peter Pan.
Right. Now, Hook is a pirate movie.
Yes, because Hook is the center of attention in that one.
Right.
I don't think we've convinced him.
No, because, I mean, we watched Hook not that long ago, and we'll talk about it here more in a minute, but, even though Hook is your protagonist in that film.
Okay, so is Die Hard a movie about John McClane or a movie about terrorists?
Yes,
Exactly.
it's a Christmas movie. Because it's not like the entire film on any of these. Well, maybe I can't say that because we haven't gotten through the whole list. But is there any one of them that is just strictly pirates and that's all there is? Because I think all of them have
Captain
the
Blood,
pirates.
I would say, is predominantly pirates. It's about pirates. Not that every single character doesn't have to be a pirate, but just your bad guy being a pirate, I think is what we're trying to say is not quite enough to define the genre.
I gotcha. Okay.
So then we've got Blackbeard's Ghost. And I put this in here because I love this movie and I love Peter Ustinov.
Wait, we skipped Swiss Family Robinson.
Oh, we did? I'm sorry. We skipped Joel's racist movie. Swiss Family Robinson.
The only reason I said that it was racist is because the pirates that are in that are Asian pirates, and they kind of portray them in a little bit, not quite, Song of the South, but it feels a little
like Breakfast at Tiffany's level racism.
Right? No, it's not Jerry Lewis.
What do you got against Asians, Joel?
I don't have anything against them, but what I'm saying is that the portrayal is a little bit dated. But it's again, it comes up on a lot of lists as being a
pirate movie.
Yeah, and I watched it today, and I mean it's a classic story. I mean, Lost in Space is based on that, and it's again it's another fun Disney adaptation of the story. But the pirates, and now with this definition we've talked about, are secondary. I mean, it's primarily a story about the Robinson family that get shipwrecked, and then they're being pursued by pirates on and off during the course of the film. So I don't know if it qualifies based on that, but it's a good film. I'd still recommend it.
Yeah, I watched the hell out of it as a kid, and that was one thing. Like when I saw it on the list and you were talking about it, I was like, I don't know that it's a pirate movie, but it's another one of those that's on the line because it clearly features pirates, even if it's not really about them.
And I think one of the differences with this one versus the ones we've talked about so far is that in all the other ones that have pirates in it, there's typically at least one pirate that has a name recognition or that is kind of the standout character. And this one, even though they have a captain, they're always talking in another language throughout the film, and they never really specify anybody by name. They're just pirates. So they're kind of like, we got to throw somebody else in here that's an antagonist in the story aside from the elements and the animals and, kind of survival. So they're kind of stock. All right. So Blackbeard's Ghost.
I love this movie. Saying it again. Have any of you guys seen it?
I have not.
I haven't either.
Pat?
Nope.
Sounds like a Disney joint though with Suzanne
It is
Pleshette
Dean
and Jones.
Dean Jones, Suzanne Pleshette, Peter Ustinov plays Blackbeard. Dean Jones plays
That's great casting.
It 100% is. Dean Jones plays a track coach coming to this New England coastside town to help get the track team up and running. Yeah. I did the thing. And he winds up, they have an auction selling items that were supposedly belong to Blackbeard's to save a hotel that is made with the timbers of what is supposed to be Blackbeard's boat. And then he wins a bed warmer and breaks the handle, and in the handle is a spell to bring people out of limbo, and he recites the spell on a lark thinking it's not really a thing, and brings back Blackbeard, who is played by Peter Ustinov, and then haunts him through the whole movie. This is Peter Ustinov at his best. Actually, I was looking through the reviews of this, and Roger Ebert gave this 3 out of 4 stars and called it Disney's best since The Absent-Minded Professor.
High praise.
I know, right? Our family liked this movie so much that we actually went to a bookstore to get Peter Ustinov's autograph on his autobiography just so we can go meet him.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we're like, oh, what do you like of my stuff? Oh, Blackbeard's Ghost, and he was like, my granddaughter loves that movie. She's like that. His granddaughter just adores it because his grandpa being so silly. But yeah, if you can see it, it is 100% classic Disney slapstick comedy.
With him in that casting, I mean, and Dean Jones.
Dean Jones is a Disney staple.
Yeah, you pretty much assume it's probably going to be a comedy.
Oh yeah, and it's great. It really is. I mean, I've watched it multiple times in a year, and every single time I watch it, it makes me laugh because it's just good old fashioned, goofy, fun Disney movie. It's enjoyable to watch. Everybody is genuine. Everybody's there's 100% in, and it's got a lot of other secondary characters in there, including, I think, the mom from Mary Poppins shows up in there, too.
I have to check that out. I may have seen it at some point when I looked it up, and it looks familiar, but I certainly don't remember it, and that'd be fun to revisit.
Yeah, it's a good one. 1968. Then, moving forward a little bit, I moved to The Island from 1980, directed by Michael Ritchie, starring Michael Caine, David Warner, Angela Punch McGregor.
Her name is a complete sentence.
I
Angela
know.
Punch McGregor.
So, Michael Ritchie, producer of films such as The Candidate and Smile. He also did The Bad News Bears and Fletch comedies. So Fletch and Fletch Lives were his. The Island is a weird... It started off as a book. Okay, so Blair Maynard, who was played by Michael Caine, he's a journalist who was once in the Navy and decides to investigate the Bermuda Triangle and figure out why so many boats disappear. He takes his son with him, which is always a good idea, and then discovers that this island in the Bermuda Triangle for centuries and unseen by anybody has been populated by French pirates that have lived there forever. They raid pleasure boats, kill whoever's on the boat, take their stuff. However, there's a false assumption on who Blair actually is, so they're kept alive because of their lineage and, ready for this, a need to offset the negative effects of inbreeding. So they need him to knock up one of the female pirates and to act as a scribe for the group who can't read. And then Justin, his son, is brainwashed to become a surrogate heir to the pirate leader now.
That escalated quickly.
I had this one on my list of ones I was going to try and squeeze in just because I was looking up, are there pirate-themed horror films? And because the only one I can ever think of is The Fog, which is not on here because I don't know if it technically qualifies by our definition.
I think that's more of a horror movie with pirate ghosts.
Right, because, for those who don't know, every 100 years after the... A ship sank. Good Lord. The fog rolls in and the dead pirates come back and do bad things. So there's pirates in it, but there's no boats at sea and cannonballs and sword fights and things like that. So this one came up as a horror film, although I don't feel like after reading about it that maybe it qualified.
When you said that, I was mixing up The Fog and The Mist. And I was very confused.
Two very different films, although there is fog in both of them.
But both have very low visibility.
And there's not a lot of pirates in The Mist.
No.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. You can't see most of what's out
tell,
there.
yeah.
Maybe they were riding the tentacly things. I don't know.
But The Island, besides having sexy Michael Caine in his prime in 1980 on it, is a pretty tense movie. I consider it a pirate movie because you have two civilians that are stuck on an island that is literally populated by a pirate tribe.
It comes up on all the lists, just like some of these other ones. So,
definitely check it out. After this, I have The Pirate Movie, which is a musical starring Christy McNichol, Christopher Atkins, and Ted Hamilton. 1982. This is awful. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Sounds awful.
It is. It really is an awful movie. Part of the reason I enjoyed it is, one, it's the first movie I recollect.
Hold on. I'm digging that this movie is awful. Part of the reason I enjoyed it.
Sounds like something I'd say.
Yeah, right?
It's one of the first movies that I recall breaking of the fourth wall. And part of that has to do with the fact that it's loosely based off the Pirates of Penzance, but it's all, you discover at the end, it's all a dream sequence. So there's
spoiler.
Yep. Trust me. If you call that spoilers after watching this movie, you're not paying attention. But it's a musical, goofy, stupid. But then moving on, 1983, Kevin Kline, Angela Lansbury, Linda Ronstadt in the Pirates of Penzance.
I saw this when I was young, but I don't remember anything about it because I was 10 years old. My mom wanted to see it, and she took me. That's pretty much all I can tell you.
That's all I have to say about that. Yeah, I have never seen this one. I was hoping, actually, Joel was the one who was putting my chips on for this one.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. No.
Okay.
I had not heard of it until I saw it on.
Well, it's a Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Like, I know
musical,
Pirates of
isn't it?
Penzance, but I don't know this film.
Oh, okay. Well, Kevin Kline plays the pirate. Then moving on to probably the greatest of all pirate movies, The Ice Pirates, starring Robert Ulrich, Mary Crosby, Michael D. Roberts.
Luckily, I did not have enough time to watch the movie this week. I was planning on it, and every time I started to watch it or getting ready to watch it, what happened, and I just never ended up having time. I was afraid to watch it because I kind of liked this when I was younger, and I didn't want that to get blown out of the water, which I knew it would.
It's probably wise.
Because, yeah, I'm very confident that this movie is a pile of crap, but I don't need to see it to know that.
You'd much rather live in your memories. With
as a funny, kind of decently, whatever, not horrible. I'll leave it in my mind.
I mean, it is funny, but it is also horrible. Like, your memory and your suspicion are both correct.
The ship has herpes.
I remember seeing it as a kid and feeling like I was watching something I shouldn't be. Because, there's...
Strangely, that feeling does not go away as an adult.
Because, there's a lot of... innuendo and just blatant kind of sexual humor.
I was going to say, they didn't innuendo much. It was very blatant.
Right.
Yeah, it was a 1984 PG movie.
But I remembered enjoying it as a kid, and it is another one that I was hoping to get to this week because we talk about it actually pretty frequently. It seems to come up in our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if it held up.
Mike and I showed it to someone who was very confused. Got to be almost 15 years ago. We insisted that we were going to watch Ice Pirates for a cast party for a show we were both in.
Dude, that was 23 years ago.
It was 20 years ago.
I was still living in Oak Park. Katie wasn't around. I was still working at Caribou at that time.
Whew. That was a hot minute.
Years ago.
So anyway, while Josh has that moment.
Yeah, I'm having an existential crisis right now.
Women still talk to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is you got a very young Ron Perlman, Bruce Vilanch, John Carradine, John Matuszek, and Angelica Houston. What?
Yeah, this is like Flash Gordon meets an acid trip.
Yeah, it's great. Now moving on to the next one. Is Goonies a pirate movie?
Yes.
No.
I'm with
Same
Patrick
reason.
on this one. Same reason as Peter Pan isn't.
Exactly.
And in fact, in this one, you don't ever even see the pirates. The pirates are all
dead. You see a ship, yeah. You see a ship and a map. Definitely not a pirate movie.
Well, you see the pirates. They're just not...
They're dead.
They're not active. Yeah, they're just kind of like... So why do you say yes, Joel?
Because the whole movie is about One-Eyed Willie's treasure and the search for it and oh God, not Chunk.
Sloth?
Hey, you guys. Yeah.
Sloth.
He wears a pirate hat and does piratey things.
Yes, but he's not a pirate,
He's a butt pirate.
And it's not about the search for Willie's gold. Otherwise, it would have been called the search for Willie's gold. It's called The Goonies because it's about the Goonies, who are not pirates.
I don't know. The whole movie's about pirate treasure.
I mean, should Reservoir Dogs have been called The Waitress because they talked about a waitress?
That wasn't the main theme of it.
Should it be called The Robbery?
Or should it have been called The Case of Diamonds? Because that's about
that's the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
They make a good point, Joel.
Well, you put it on the list, so I figured you were with me on this one.
No,
It was a trap.
Okay. First off, never assume I'm with you on anything. And second of all, I'm just copying shit off a list, dude. I mean, this...
He was actually on your side until we decided we weren't. He's like, yeah, I'm flip-flopping.
Let Joel stay in the well.
That doesn't... I believe that. All right, moving on.
So we've got from there.
Is Old Yeller a pirate movie, Joel? I'm fucking with you.
Then we've got Pirates by Roman Polanski, listed as a Franco-Tunisian adventure comedy, which is a phrase I've never said in my life. It was screened out of the competition in the 1986 Cannes Film Festival, which is weird because it has Walter Matthau as Captain Thomas Bartholomew Red. Roy Kinnear as Dutch. It's got a weird cast that should be good, but apparently did terribly.
This is another one of those movies that I saw in the theater. I don't remember, but I know that I've seen it. I just know that my family went to see it, all four of us.
Okay.
That's the end of my review.
There we go. So then from that, The Princess Bride. Is this a pirate movie?
This one is tougher because definitely piracy is like a character who is indisputably a pirate is a big part of it. I still think I'm going to say it's not actually a pirate movie.
Yeah, I'm going to say no, it's not a pirate movie. It's a romantic comedy, but it's not I wouldn't even necessarily call it like an action adventure or anything. It's just the piracy is just a subplot.
Like it's a fairy tale.
I'll say it's a fairy tale. The piracy is a hook to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of hook.
Yeah.
That one pops up a lot on lists too.
But I almost think that the lists are automatically created by an algorithm that just control F pirate. Like I don't know how much I personally give to those lists.
I could see why this movie would like be tagged pirate, but it's definitely not a pirate movie.
Well, I pulled this off of the Wikipedia pirate movie
database.
Yes.
Thing.
So moving on from that to Hook.
We've already said Hook is a pirate movie.
Yeah.
And if Pat wanted to argue with that, I wouldn't fight too hard because you could make an argument that it's still about Pan even though it's titled Hook.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's definitely a pirate movie. I mean, they spend a ton of time on board the ship. They spend a lot of time discussing pirate rules and life and blah, blah, blah. I'd definitely say it's a pirate movie.
And Pan technically is secondary to Hook in this film.
Mm-hmm. I think I would agree with that statement. Like I said, I think we're all on the same side here, but if some other fifth person disagreed, I probably wouldn't fight him too hard on it.
Hey, call up Matthew and see what he thinks.
Matthew doesn't answer my calls.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh. Hey, Joel, thanks for calling.
I just keep playing parts of RoboCop for him, so he won't pick up for me either.
Joel calls him, he answers on the first ring.
You want to come over and watch Ice Pirates? And then we have the movie which has been spoken about of destroying the pirate genre. Is Cutthroat Island, starring Gina Davis, Matthew Modine, Frank Langella.
Because when you think pirates, you think Matthew Modine.
Well, and Gina Davis.
You think pirates, I will think, you tell me somebody's in a pirate movie, they're actors. They do whatever's on the paper. Give them a chance. Sure, why not? According to the Guinness Book of World Records, this film is the biggest financial loss ever. It had cost $115 million to make.
More than Ishtar?
More than Ishtar. I believe this is long after Ishtar. It cost $115 million to make and made $10 million at the box office. Now that's in 1995 dollars.
There's a part of me that wants to partially defend this movie with the caveat that I recognize that it's not actually good. It's one of those where it actually sucks, but not anywhere as near as much as people say it does.
Kind of like Waterworld.
Part of it is that the budget. It's almost as if this movie was cursed.
I see. Sort of like Ishtar, where Ishtar is actually a mediocre film, but not a bad film. But it was an extremely expensive mediocre film.
Right. So there's a lot of delays in shooting, and all this caused. So Harlan, the director, filed the chief camera operator following a dispute. 24 crew members quit along with him. So that's the first issue. Pipes broke and then caused raw sewage to pour into the water tank where they were going to do all their swimming scenes.
Which is what you want.
Right. For, it's authentic then. Harlan, the director, he spent $1 million of his own money to rewrite the script, as Carloco was so much in debt they couldn't afford to pay it any further. The first week into production, the film's original cinematographer, Oliver Wood, fell off a crane into one of the water tanks and broke his leg. He was then replaced by Peter Levy. Was shot on location in Malta and Thailand. Indoor scenes were shot at the Mediterranean Film Studios in Calcara, Malta, and models were shot at the Paddock Tank and Pinewood Studios in England. Harlan required actors to do their own stunts whenever possible. That's a good idea. While promoting the film, Gina Davis appeared on talk shows with clips of her doing stunts over and over, including one where she fell out of a window too soon, rolled down the roof and underneath a horse carriage, and then showed off her bruises and injuries. So this one it currently has a 38% rating on 40 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, But I think the biggest problem with it is that it didn't do well at the box office, and it cost so freaking much to make. Nobody wanted to pony up the money anymore.
It was just doomed from the start, it sounds like.
Yeah, because you think pirate movies, if you're going to do a pirate movie, outside of pirates, you need the boat. You need the ocean. And those scenes are not cheap if you want to do it and make it look good.
Because you always need a giant tank.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of dumb fun, but it's not always good fun, if that makes sense. Like, I remember watching it and being like, okay, it was something I watched. It had its moments, but it just didn't work. Like, it needed a different cast or less crap happening. Problems. Maybe it would have been better. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, the company Carloco Pictures, which financed the film, filed for bankruptcy 6 weeks before it even reached the theaters.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's
And
rough.
then finally, also, 1996, directed by Brian Henson, Tim Curry as Long John Silver, Kevin Bishop, Billy Connolly, Muppet Treasure Island.
So good.
It's more about the puppets.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, score one, Joel. This one I can watch over and over again.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. 100%.
It's
so
very,
good.
very entertaining, very well done.
Yep.
Just a good Muppets movie.
And honestly, I'm not huge on the Muppet adaptations of other works, but this one is the best of those.
Christmas Carol, I think, might be better.
See, you guys are way... I don't dislike Christmas Carol, but I don't love it as much as you guys do.
I like Christmas Carol during Christmas. We watch it together as a family once every year at Christmas time. This one, anytime. You got Muppet Treasure Island, throw it on there. Give me more Tim Curry in his prime.
Right.
Because right now, Tim Curry, I'm pulling for you, man. Every time I see him, I just feel sad. Did you know there was a lawsuit involved in this one?
I did not.
Out of all the people that could have sued Henson Productions, Hormel Foods.
What?
Hormel Foods sued this movie because they use a name Spam for one of the tribal pigs in this.
Huh.
Yeah. So the judge dismissed their case in September 1995 after a trial for failure to prove damages, noting in his statement, one might think that Hormel would welcome the association with a genuine source of pork.
Oof.
When he eventually Spam later appeared as a racing boss in something called Muppet Race Mania, and he was credited as Pig Chief. But yeah, they, of all people, come on, do you think Hormel, really, guys? Because that's going to win over people. Yeah, they sued the Muppets. So that's all I got for the then, man.
That's a lot of piratey goodness.
Yeah. Love myself some Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah, that's just a solid movie.
Now,
and one of the best Muppets.
I see in the notes you mentioned that One Piece. Now, did the anime or the manga start before our break?
This is all film, so this is going to be it's going to be the anime that started up in this one.
Oh, that started up then, because the OVAs, I think, would have been right around our break point as well. And while I'm personally not a huge fan, it's a lot of what they call shonen anime. It's generally made for teenage boys or preteen boys. Would include your Naruto, your Dragon Ball Z, but it also includes My Hero Academia, which I fucking love. One Piece is solidly, it's one of the most popular in the genre. And while I don't particularly care for it myself, it is undoubtedly pirate entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Where the pirate Monkey D. Luffy, who ate a fruit which gave him a rubbery skin, is going after the One Piece treasure with his Straw Hat Pirates to try and become the king of all pirates.
It's goofy fun.
Yeah, it's a little too silly for me, but I completely get why people love it.
So when we come back, we're going to do some of the nows. And Pirates come back with a vengeance
And
in
Keith
2000.
Richards.
And Keith Richards in 2003. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the middle of the show. This week for the Geek Life Radio Artist and Song of the Week, we've got Ookla the Mock with Dr. Doom. Here's just a sample, and the full song will be played after the end titles. right, we are back, and we're going to talk about pirate movies from 2000 onward.
A lot of Johnny Depp.
A lot of Johnny Depp. You're going to be neck deep
In Jack Sparrow.
in Jack Sparrow. Yeah.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh, okay, much better. So, first one out of the gates, 2002, Disney made another attempt to see if people would like pirates, but this time it's space pirates. They have Treasure Planet.
Wearing space pants.
No.
Space pants.
Listen to this guy. He's got a point.
His space shorts.
Starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Emma Thompson, and Martin Short on their voices. Sci-fi version of Treasure Island. Has anybody seen this one except for me?
I think I did, but I remember nothing about it. But I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
If I remember correctly, Mike likes this movie a lot.
I've seen it. I enjoyed it. It was fine.
I've never seen it.
I liked it. It's a lot of fun. I think it gets a worse rap than it deserves. It also has...
This was a weird time for animated films in general. Just like they couldn't decide whether they wanted to be for young adults, whether they wanted to be for little kids. And they kind of split the difference. You got a lot of films. Like Titan AE is kind of like that. Where they just didn't know who they wanted to be for. So they kind of like were for nobody.
Yeah, it was kind of shooting out into the dark with a lot of these because they knew that their audience was getting older and the kids that watched their Disney movies were now having kids. So it was experimental. I dig this one. I think it's really good. Very a hidden gem of the Disney movies. Now, Patrick McGowan is in this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, were you trying to draw attention to Patrick that Patrick McGowan was in this, or did you stutter?
Little bit of column A, little bit of column B.
Wasn't this the first Disney movie that was completely computer rendered from start to finish?
No, this was 2D. There was 3D CGI in this, but there was not.
No, I'm not saying 3D. I'm saying just computer graphics. It was just 100% like no hand drawn at all.
No, I think you're thinking of Titan AE.
Yeah, I think that's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that probably is what I'm thinking of. Okay, moving on.
So, no, Patrick McGowan plays Billy Bones in this.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll be seeing you.
Yep. All right. So after this, we have Peter Pan, which is the other half of the infamous Peter Pan show. 2003, Jeremy Sumpter, Jason Isaacs, and Olivia Williams. I think, even though Peter Pan, the Disney version, is not a pirate movie, I believe this is a pirate movie. There's a lot more focus on Captain Hook. Jason Isaacs is an amazing Captain Hook.
I've never seen this movie.
I almost corrected you, but then I realized.
No, it was just you and I who'd seen it.
Yeah, that was part of why that episode was so bad.
Well, yeah.
This is one where I'm not sure I agree that it's a pirate movie, but it's close enough that I see where you're, like, if it's hard for me to say that Hook is and this isn't, is the problem.
Yeah, because there's just as much integration of pirate lore and how the pirates run in this one, with Bob Hoskins as first mate.
Well, Richard Bryars is Mr. Smee, and not Bob Hoskins.
Oh, it was Hook. He was Smee.
Yeah.
Okay, mix that up.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, this has got a fairly decent cast. It was fine.
I don't know that I've seen it, so...
Unless you decided to watch it. I know you hadn't seen it for the Peter Pan show.
No, this is the ultimate slow roll. He's like, no, I did watch it. I just wanted to fuck you in that episode.
If that was true, I don't...
I slipped Everclear into Mike's beer to prevent against viruses.
Oh, I sent them an email to the article about that. Everclear does not do what you think it does. You're just getting everyone drunk. Anyway. After this, 2003, same year, Gore Verbinski says, hey, what if we did pirates, but did it kind of right? Curse of the Black Pearl. Johnny Depp, Jeffrey Rush, Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley launch a franchise that I believe is still going.
It's kind of overstayed its welcome at this point, and they're replacing Johnny Depp with Margot Robbie. Robbie, yeah.
Margot Robbie.
But yeah, this first one, when I saw it in the theater, I was enthralled.
Yep.
I was just like blown away by how much I liked the way it portrayed all of the pirate stuff, but still in a PG-13 Disney-friendly way. It incorporated elements of the ride. This was well before I became annoyed at Jack Sparrow, so I thought he was awesome.
That I think was a lot of the conversation, but when it was first announced, it was like Pirates of the Caribbean. You mean the one where you sit in the boat?
Right, yeah.
Right.
You're going to make a movie out of a ride? Like, what?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Well, and just today I watched the Screen Rant pitch meeting for this.
Those are so
I
good.
thought it was kind of funny. They're talking about how Will Turner is not very careful about when and why he throws weapons. Like, he throws a sword just to trap Jack Sparrow in, but because he's a main character. But, like, he throws axes into people's backs throughout the rest, so he clearly doesn't care about being honorable.
Mhm.
He hates pirates. Maybe he was trying to shoot Jack Sparrow in the back with a sword. He was just a bad aim.
I don't know. The rest of the time he does that in the movie, he's pretty dead on with it.
He put points into it after that scene. He got some XP.
It was a sword fighting up on the girders. That's what did it. That kicked in the
Yeah,
RPG.
leveled him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't see that he was flashing after that fight?
It's just a damn fun movie. I mean, I watched. Well, we'll get to that, but I thought after the last one that they were going to end it, but they did have a cut scene at the end that led you to potentially another film. But I remember seeing this, and the first time I heard about it, I thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, great, it's going to be another Haunted Mansion situation. And I was pleasantly surprised at how good it was, how much fun it was. Like Josh said, how they handled some things in a Disney way, which, I mean, even if you go back to the Disney films we talked about in the first half, there were still people getting shot and stabbed and whatnot. But this one, you actually had almost like zombie-like characters.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they were still safe enough for younger audiences, but didn't.
I mean, there was lots of stabbing and killing, but all of it happened off screen for the
Right.
most part.
And they handled the scarier elements, excuse me, in a way that was still, good enough for the people that wanted it to be kind of creepy, but not so much that kids were crying themselves to sleep at night. I don't think. But yeah, they definitely did. He did a good job with making pirates.
And it was very, very
Fun
well
again.
written and enjoyable and beautiful. I mean, the whole series is just beautiful. The cinematography and the special effects are all very, very good throughout the run.
And the stunts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I will say Jeffrey Rush and his character Barbarossa is probably the biggest draw for me on these movies.
Really?
He is very good as Barbarossa. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
The one of the very first scenes when you see him is when he's interacting with Elizabeth Swann, and he makes the comment about how so many syllables in those words, and then he goes to say no to her. He's like, I'm inclined to acquiesce or whatever, and that means no. It's
Yeah,
a really, really good intro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Jeffrey Rush is amazing casting. While everybody loves Johnny Depp, Jack Sparrow is great, but I think he's a one-note song. He's gonna do his thing. He's kind of drunkard, that sort of thing. I think where these movies shine is in their secondary and tertiary characters.
I'm going to agree with you on that, where I think that Jack Sparrow is like the Minions. So long as you don't make them the focus, they're the best part of the movie. And that's kind of where the movies later sort of lost their way, is they tried to make it about Jack Sparrow. And it's not about Jack Sparrow. He's just the interesting side character.
Mm-hmm. It's another movie where the character is the MacGuffin. You need the Jack Sparrow to move the plot along.
But even his band of pirates that he runs with, which you could almost say are, like you said, the tertiary characters, are all fun characters to watch almost as much as Captain Jack.
Yeah,
In a lot
the
of
two
ways.
pirates, the one with the wooden eye, those guys are great. I can't remember their name.
And the guy with the big mutton chops.
Yeah, his side, the main quartermaster on the Pearl, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the little person, I don't know, the little bald guy, is fun.
And Jack the monkey also is very, very entertaining.
We named the monkey Jack.
So yeah, they're not bad movies. They're just overdone. They needed to stop at like number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the trilogy was actually, even though it was sort of losing its way by the third one, I'd say the trilogy in general, the first one's very good. And as a trilogy, they're good movies. You start to get beyond that, and you got some problems.
And Davy Jones is a great character too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Bill Nighy, though, is brilliant.
Kevin R. McNally, who plays Gibbs, that's the guy with the mutton chops.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
And, you can't knock that scene, and I don't remember which one it's in. It might be the third one with the giant wheel where it's rolling and they're fighting inside.
It's badass. The three-way fight that
Yeah.
keeps going back and forth with who's got the upper hand.
It just is conceptually, it's kind of like a clusterfuck. Like, it's like, how are you going to pull this off? And then they do. And you're like, holy crap. That was.
Can you imagine the stunt coordinator getting the storyboards? Like, what?
Right?
Or the stunt coordinator telling the storyboard artist to do. You're going to have them do. Wait, is that legal?
Yeah.
And then, of course, 2005.
Of course.
People said, "Hey, people are digging this pirate thing. We should do a pirate movie," and it did. 2005's Pirates, directed by June, starring Jesse Jane, Janine, Tegan Presley. If any of those names, you recognize any of those?
Then you're busted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are a pervert, and so am I, because, yes, I watched this.
Oh, hell yeah. I watched this.
Not for the show, just like I watched this.
I had the VHS.
Well,
VHS.
Yeah.
and
Alright.
when we were talking about doing the show, I mean, it was brought up that it was, I don't know if it still holds the record as being the most expensive pornographic film ever made, but it was at the time anyway, which, that's saying something, because usually it's like, shoot it quick, get it out, move on.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of the point.
Yeah, get to the money shot, move on.
Speaking of busted, there was a dude in Target or somewhere, and he had his alert noise on his cell phone was the Pornhub drum startup, that thing. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I know the sound you're talking about, yeah.
And he was in another aisle over. It went off, and somewhere from another aisle, you just heard another guy go, "Nice." I was like, this is the world now. That's amazing. But no, I believe it or not, I have never seen this one.
I've heard of it, but I've not actually seen it. And I would say if I did.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you'd be shy about that.
I mean, all respect for him. I mean, let's do a 5-star blockbuster.
I mean, yeah, it was a high production, high quality. They actually all tried. It was.
I don't know about 5-star, but it's definitely, it's more than you would expect for a porn. Like, there are some special effects.
And there's actual plot. They actually wrote some.
I heard there was a
dialogue.
script. Yeah.
Some real dialogue, not just like, "Hey, how are you?" Like they actually wrote real dialogue.
Do you have my pizza?
I was going to say, did somebody deliver a pizza like somewhere? Was there like some pipes?
Coach does you stay done.
That's right.
No, that's for Peyton.
There was apparently a sequel, Stagnetti's Revenge. That's the name of it. All right, moving on. Dead Man's Chest.
Scagnetti. Fuck.
Scagnetti?
No, that's just that's a Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
quote.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this one coming out, another Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Caribbean or Caribbean? What do you guys say?
Caribbean.
One of those pronunciations.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
I change it. I kind of alternate back and forth just depending on my
Sounds
mood,
good.
I guess. I don't know.
I'm in. So the next couple years, Dead Man's Chest, At World's End, Stranger Tides. There were other pirate movies, but none of them were made in the U.S., and all of them were very small budget, under the radar type stuff that we would not have seen. I know we've kind of talked about these. Out of the ones that
Like my Dinner with Pirates.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
My Dinner with Andre. Is that what you were going for, Pat?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. Joel outdid Pat on that one.
Outdude.
He outdued him. All right, so also in this, there's an animated film done by the people who did Wallace and Gromit called The Pirates in an Adventure with Scientists. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Now, is it a pirate movie or is it a scientist movie? Directed by Peter Lord, voices of Hugh Grant, Salma Hayek, and Jeremy Piven of some. It's based off a book done by the, like I said, done by the guys who did
Arden Entertainment.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's entertaining. The voices are great. You got David Tennant, Brian Blessed, because Brian Blessed should be in everything. You saw it, Joel?
No, it looked like fun, but I haven't seen it. I know the poster of it. Like I've seen screen caps and whatnot from it, and I like the Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, got that claymation type look to it.
Yeah, they're always fun and they're funny, but yeah, I haven't actually seen it yet.
Yeah, definitely very British comedy in this one. But moving on, we have Treasure Island 2012, starring Eddie Izzard.
Now, is he playing
as Long John Silver?
Yep, I can see that.
And I have never seen this, but I really want to see it now.
I'm with you on that.
Toby Regbo? I don't know who that is, but it also has Elijah Wood and Donald Sutherland.
I did not know this existed.
Neither did I. The poster, I'll have to put the poster in here because if you click on that one, Eddie Izzard makes a really good Long John Silver.
Oh, wow, he's bald.
Yeah.
Tony Regbo is Jim Hawkins. Elijah Wood is Ben Gunn. Oh, that's interesting casting.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Sutherland is Flint. David Harewood as Billy Bones.
Yeah. It looks really good. 2012. I mean, I like Eddie Izzard. I mean, the cast looks great. It's definitely jumped up on my list. I just got to figure out where to watch it.
Yeah, I'm curious now. Yeah.
And then Joel added Captain Phillips. I have not seen this movie.
It's pretty intense. I mean, since we're talking about pirates, I felt like we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the only film that I know of, other than ones that I found since then. There's only I think 2 other ones out there that exist, but that talk about actual like modern day Somalian pirates, which, Captain Phillips is kind of the watermark, the benchmark, the water. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Like
watershed,
the watershed moment for Somalian pirate
water
movies,
glass,
something. But it's
when they broke the glass ceiling.
Yes. Wait.
What?
It's a pirate's year. They finally broke through.
Whereas, like the Pirates
Those
of the
bad boy Somalians.
the Pirates of the Caribbean movie is kind of that what we all think of traditionally, with pirates, peg legs, patches, things like that. This is a very real world take on it. The actual kind of terrifying things that people go through. It's really well done. And it's a nail biter. It's definitely worth watching if you guys haven't seen it. I mean, I love Tom Hanks, so I had seen it because of him specifically, but it's kind of makes you not want to be a ship captain anywhere near Somalia. Or
we'll check that off my bucket list.
Right?
I didn't know I needed a movie to tell me that.
Josh sadly takes his hat off.
Aw.
Joel's putting away all his manuals. Oh, I'm not gonna.
Oh, look, he's the captain now.
That's so stupid.
Back to working on my cover of my Dick Taste Funky.
Oh, Jesus.
So then moving on to that, we've got, now this is another one that jumped up on my list because I didn't know anything about this. It's called Crossbones. It's based off a book called The Republic of Pirates. So the deal is the British Empire thought that Edward Teach, Blackbeard, died in 1718. The time is now 1729, and Blackbeard is the ruler of a island of pirates, an island group of pirates. He calls himself the Commodore, and it's the discovery of the fact that Blackbeard is still alive and going on with this. So you've got John Malkovich playing Blackbeard.
That's a decision.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Right?
But it's supposed to be an older Blackbeard. Like, I'm not pirating anymore. I'm ruling these islands as a pirate king. I'm not out raiding anybody. But it's also got Richard Coyle in here also, who if you remember him from the Friends and coupling show that we did. Richard Coyle was the goofy guy from Coupling.
Okay.
Yeah. But you also have recurring Julian Sands shows up. It's Kevin Ryan shows up. It just looks really good. That the initial episode is Britain finds out about this and they send in a spy to kill the Commodore.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then we have Black Sails.
Now, I watched the hell out of Black Sails. I wish I'd actually finished it.
I've heard a lot about it, but I don't know anything about storyline or anything like that.
I mean, yeah, it starts near, with a fictional character, Captain Flint, but it's right at the beginning where you got a lot of historical pirates. And eventually, in later seasons, Captain Flint will cross paths with many of them. Yeah, this is listed as a television film in our notes, but this is a show on Stars.
Mm-hmm.
It's a series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they went. There's 38 episodes over 4 seasons.
I was just going to ask how long it was running, or if is it still, or is it done? Oh,
No, it ended back in 2017.
Yep.
You've got fictional characters like Long John Silver is in this, Billy Bones is in this, but you've also got Calico Jack Rackham and Bonnie Mary Reed, Woods Rogers, Blackbeard.
I don't recognize any of the actors. Just looking at the cast list here.
Well, I know this was filmed in South Africa, and I don't know how many of the actors might have been locals. And it's definitely got a little bit of sexposition.
I love that phrase, or that word.
Yeah, for listeners who are maybe not familiar with it, it's like if you have something that you just want to do some world building or some character development, but it might be a little boring, do it during a sex scene where you got a naked woman on the screen.
Okay, then I did hear you right.
Or
Or
you do it while Al Swearingen is getting a nasty blowjob. That's another.
Yeah, it was most popularized in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the only person I recognize from the cast is Ray Stevenson, who I like. But yeah, that's it. Huh. Interesting.
It's worth a watch. Like, it's not amazing, but it's a more serious take on pirates with a modern budget than Pirates of the Caribbean.
All right. Got it on my list.
Yeah, if you have access to Stars, it's definitely worth your time, at least.
Stars.
Oh, I have access to Stars.
You mean
Allegedly.
There, I said it at least once, twice.
Yeah, I tried to look up, pirate movies 2021, and it was like, here's a torrent site, here's another torrent site. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. Stop showing me that.
To pirate movies.
I just want movies about pirates. It's like looking about Yeti games. Do you want a game about Yetis, or do you want games from Yeti Games?
Because I have both.
Or if you're looking for games about coolers, because there's random coolers, Yetis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about, since we're talking about pirates in general, it's worth mentioning that there have been a bunch of pirate games recently. Like 3 or 4 Assassin's Creeds ago, you had Black Flag, which is probably the gold standard for pirate games right now.
Yep.
Available on Game Pass. What is the multiplayer only pirate one?
Oh.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves is real big, and there's a couple others that they're working on getting out in the next couple of years. So I'm hoping someday there will be a in-depth, like what Red Dead Redemption 2 did for cowboys. I want to see that for pirates. That's all I really want.
Sierra had the game called Pirates there for what also.
That wasn't Sierra. That was Sid Meier.
Sid Meier. Yeah, sorry, Sid Meier. Yeah.
Maker of all the civs.
Yeah, I mistook my game makers.
Oh, I love Sid Meier's Pirates.
I never played it.
You dig it.
Also, around the 2003, 2004 era, you had the Port Royale series, where you could choose to be a pirate or you could just choose to be a merchant in the golden age of piracy. I hooked a lot of people on that game.
Yeah, and then you've got Monkey Island.
Sure, yeah, the pirate comedy adventure game from the mid-late 90s.
Yeah, really good game.
See, it seems like it would lend itself well to that format because, you've got if they, depending on how they do it, you've got the ability to kind of go into an open world type thing, hop on your boat, look for treasure. Meanwhile, you're fighting other people either in ships or on land. It just, it seems like it would lend itself really well to a
you
playable.
just described Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
there you go.
And that's the thing. It's like the size of the ship you have dictates the number of people you have to be playing with in order to run it effectively. And a lot of the content, yeah, sure, there's like skeletons on islands to fight, but a lot of it is like, can I get my treasure back before somebody else takes my ship and my treasure?
Mm-hmm. A lot of the game is getting to where the treasure is and then screaming the entire time you're trying to get back to your base.
I wonder why it's not more popular, why that there's not more out there, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Sea of Thieves is relatively big. It had a rocky launch, but it's fairly well regarded. And in the multiplayer space, like, you don't want to divide your audience. There's only going to be so many people that want to play multiplayer pirate games. And they have been trying, Ubisoft has been trying to make a single-player pirate game for, I want to say, the last 6 years, since they made Black Flag. They've been trying to do, I forget what it's called, I think it's called Skull and Crossbones, to the point where they fired the entire team and started over at least once. So, I mean, that has been a troubled development cycle. Otherwise, we would have another good pirate game by now.
Yeah, it's kind of like Cutthroat Island for video games. You know, there's people see that if you could do it right, you could get a huge fan base and you can make all the monies. But the problem is that there's so much risk to it, and especially with the way game fandoms react to things nowadays.
Well, it's very niche. Like, you don't want to be the second best pirate game.
Right. Well, someday.
So, I don't know if we've exhausted the buried treasure in this topic.
I think for now we may have. But
have any of you guys ever played a pirate tabletop role-playing game?
I played the hell out of 7th Sea. In fact, I own almost every book for the first edition, and I kickstarted the second edition, so I technically have at least the PDFs for all of them. And while you don't have to be a pirate, it's more a swashbuckling RPG than specifically a pirate one. I think those two concepts go sort of hand in hand.
Yeah, 7th Sea started out as a CCG, didn't it?
No, CCG came after the RPG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've played both, and I had a years-long campaign that when I was still in the hobby shop days, that I played in. I actually never GM'd that, and Sarah and I got the hardback for the second edition off a Kickstarter a couple of years ago, and her campaign for that just never happened. It was one of many games that we talked about and didn't get around to doing. But yeah, I did some pirates, although I didn't play a pirate. I played a highwayman.
Which is just like a pirate without a boat.
Basically. I was basically playing the character from the Whiskey in a Jar song.
Nice.
I had a girl named Molly. There was a betrayal. My enemy was Captain Farrell.
Very cool. So, Joel, what do we have coming up next?
Well, we're going to be talking about The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. We're going to talk about the Alamo. And, surprisingly, we haven't talked about 4th of July yet, so we're going to hit that topic.
All right. And if we missed some sort of pirate entertainment, you're like, I can't believe they didn't talk about this. It's the most piratey thing ever. Let us know what we missed. Give us a call at 708-NOW-RAP. That's 708-669-9727.
Yep. And again, if you're looking for more of this, we are on Apple and Google Podcasts. We are on Geek Life Radio, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Amazon Music. We're all over the place. Come on, find us, leave us a message, give us a call, and listen to the show. We really appreciate it, and we will be back next week. Thanks for listening.
Should we have talked about Long John Silver's?
The restaurant?
Yeah.
Captain D's? No?
If you want to talk about diarrhea.
Captain and Tennille, should we talk about them? He was a captain.
My dick tastes funky.
Would you like me to get you a bucket so you can keep milking it?
Would you like me to get you a bucket? It's also a good subtitle for the Long John Silver's show.
I thought you were going to say the dick tastes funky.
Yeah, it's not great food, but little crunchy bites are good.
Ugh.
What?
Go see a doctor.
He's not talking about the dick. He's talking about...
Oh, okay.
Talking about the crunchy bits on the fish, you ding-dong. What the hell is wrong with you?
I thought you were talking about the funky dick.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Tonight, I knew.
still snowboarding, have